sea surface was calm, almost deceptively ordinary, a mirror of pale azure under the afternoon sun. But beneath that serene veneer lay a silent threat, a predator unlike any other, moving in the deep with purpose and precision. A ripple, then a dorsal fin slicing through the blue, black, white, and impossibly graceful. It was an orca, a killer whale, gliding with a power that seemed almost unreal. And in that instant, the ocean's food chain, long held steady in lore and science, began to unravel. For centuries, the great white shark, Carcharodon carcharias, stood undisputed as the ocean's apex predator, a creature of raw force in evolutionary mastery. Its triangular teeth and torpedo-shaped body inspired awe and dread in equal measure. Yet now, in waters off South Africa and beyond, that supremacy is being challenged in ways that are as astonishing as they are unsettling. This is the story of how orcas, nature's most intelligent marine hunters, have learned not just to hunt sharks, but to outwit them, decimate them, and in doing so, change the rhythm of an underwater world that millions of years of evolution once thought unshakable. From the outside, the ocean seems boundless and blue, but dive deep enough, past twilight waters where light fades into black, and you enter an alien realm. Here, pressure is a crushing, invisible hand. Silence is absolute, and life, whenever it dares to exist, evolves strange adaptations to cope with isolation and darkness. In this abyss, killer whales and great white sharks have each carved out extraordinary histories of survival, driven by instincts as old as the oceans themselves, instincts that now place them on a collision course. The ancestors of modern orcas emerged long before the age of dinosaurs ended. They evolved from terrestrial mammals returning to the sea with a lineage that spans tens of millions of years, becoming supremely adapted to marine life. Their bodies, hydrodynamic and powerful, belie a creature capable of speed, grace, and monstrous force. They hunt in coordinated family groups, communicate through complex vocal signatures, and display intelligence that rivals primates. Great white sharks are no less remarkable, with roots stretching back some 16 million years and teeth that fossil records reveal as terrifyingly efficient. They are living relics of prehistoric oceans. Their evolution pushed them to become apex predators designed for speed, ambush, and calculated force. For decades, their presence in coastal waters around South Africa, Australia, and California was synonymous with untouchable dominance. Yet, evolution is not static. It is a crucible of change, and when new pressures arise, whether from environmental shifts or the rise of adaptive rivals, even legends must adapt or perish. Off the southern coast of South Africa, around Mossel Bay and False Bay, scientists observed something that defied long-held assumptions. Videos, drones, and direct sightings confirmed that orcas were not just interacting with sharks, they were hunting them. Specifically, they were targeting great white sharks, using tactics that resembled surgical precision more than brute force. Researchers gave names to two particularly proficient killer whales, Port and Starboard, distinguished by the way their dorsal fins bent, one left, the other right. Together, these males began to exhibit behaviors increasingly rare among their species, tracking, ambushing, and killing great white sharks with incredible efficiency. But what truly stunned scientists was how they hunted. Instead of devouring the sharks whole, these orcas performed what looked like selective harvesting, extracting the liver in little else. Shark livers are enormous, rich in fat and nutrients, delivering energy equivalent to a treasure trove in the energy-poor deep. This was not random predation, it was strategy. On an ordinary afternoon in June 2023, a lone orca, Starboard, chased down a juvenile great white near Mossel Bay. In under 2 minutes, he had ripped apart the shark's pectoral fin, killed it, and carried its liver in his mouth as though displaying a trophy. For onlookers aboard research vessels, the sight was unforgettable. For marine biologists, it was evidence of behavior that would upend previous assumptions about predator-prey dynamics in the oceans.
Orcas aren't just opportunistic, said one expert. They are learning. They are innovating. In other regions, studies documented similar predation strategies.
In the Gulf of California, a pod known as Moctezuma's pod was filmed flipping juvenile great white sharks onto their backs, a maneuver that induces a trance-like paralysis in sharks before tearing out their nutrient-rich livers. The implications were profound. This wasn't isolated, it was learned behavior passed through orca social groups. From South Africa to Mexico and Australia, orcas were demonstrating that even apex predators like great whites were vulnerable. One of the most haunting aspects of this unfolding drama is the intelligence exhibited by the orcas. Killer whales are not simple predators driven solely by instinct. They exhibit culture, learned behaviors transmitted through generations, preferences for certain prey, and in some cases, lifelong diets that differ from neighboring pods. This cultural richness is a hallmark of their success, and it is on full display in their shark hunts. In the Gulf of California, for example, researchers observed sophisticated techniques, flipping sharks to induce paralysis, shared within Moctezuma's pod. Such techniques are not instinctive, they are taught, observed, rehearsed, and perfected. Across the globe, orcas demonstrate remarkable adaptability, hunting salmon in one region, marine mammals in another, and now sharks in yet another. They are apex predators, shaped by evolution, yes, but also by learning, memory, and social transmission of knowledge, not unlike humans. Imagine the contrast. Sharks built by millions of years of evolution for power and bite. Orcas shaped by collaboration, strategy, and social intelligence. The ocean's balance is no longer simply about physical dominance, it's about brains as much as brawn. But every discovery generates new mysteries. Why have orcas developed this preference for shark livers? Some scientists speculate it's the high caloric return, a rich storehouse of energy for marine life that spends hours hunting in nutrient-poor waters. Others wonder if environmental changes, such as warming seas or shifts in prey availability, have pushed orcas closer to shore, forcing them to find new food sources. What remains clear is that these events are not isolated anomalies. They are documented cases, backed by DNA evidence, drone footage, and repeated scientific observations. In Australia, killer whale DNA in bite wounds confirmed predation on great white sharks, direct proof that these interactions are real and biologically significant. Yet there is so much we still do not know. How widespread is this behavior? Are other pods adopting similar strategies? Does this trend threaten great white populations globally, or is it a regional phenomenon? These questions linger like shadows in the deep, impossible to answer without more eyes, more expeditions, and more instruments probing into the ocean's darkest secrets. Today, great white sharks still patrol the coastal waters, still breach in spectacular displays, and still capture imaginations worldwide. Yet their dominance is no longer absolute. The rise of orcas as shark predators marks a dramatic chapter in the evolutionary saga of the ocean, a chapter where intelligence, culture, and adaptation rewrite ancient hierarchies. What happens next is uncertain. As great whites adapt, migrate, and respond to the threat, the ocean's balance may shift again. Perhaps other species will rise to fill ecological gaps. Perhaps climate change and human impacts will introduce new pressures that alter this story in unexpected ways. But one truth remains. The ocean is alive with complexity, mystery, and change. A world where survival is not just a matter of strength, but of adaptation, ingenuity, and resilience. As the sun dips below the horizon and the last light fades from the water's surface, the ocean becomes a veil of darkness, a realm where pressure crushes and silence reigns. In these depths, lives continue unseen, the orca gliding with silent intent, the shark patrolling its ghostly domain, each playing out the ancient rhythms of life and death.
This is more than a story of predator and prey. It is a testament to nature's boundless capacity for change and a reminder that even in the vast, dark ocean, the tides of evolution are ever turning.
The deep sea holds countless secrets, but perhaps the greatest is this. In its endless depths, life is both fragile and ferocious, and the dance between hunter and hunted continues, mysterious, unpredictable, and eternal.